Well, today's hike is a 7 to 8 mile stretch along the Viking Way, starting at Waddington and ending at Wellingore. And along the way, the villages that we'll go through, we start off at Waddington, the first village is Harmston, and then it's through to Coleby, then Boothby Graffoe, Navenby, and then ending at Wellingore. The Viking Way is a 147 mile stretch from the River Humber all the way through down to Oakham in Rutland. Right, let's get out of here, it's windy. The old Viking Way. You can see the tower at Harmston. The original church was built in 1086, but it was rebuilt, I think it was the 1700s, but they kept the original tower. So the tower dates back to sort of just after the Norman conquest. Right, we're supposed to head left, but we're going to go and have a look at the All Saints Church, so we need to go right. Earlier I said that this church was built in 1086, but actually it says a church has been in existence here since 1086. The tower was added in 1100. And the church in the 1700s was adapted, it was rebuilt, but the tower is original. Here we go, here's the test. So we've just recently had all of that cold weather, and yeah, I think it was only yesterday when the milder weather set in. So the churches are sort of retaining all of that really icy cold temperatures that, you know, we've had for the past month, but it's been so nice to have some milder weather to walk in today and some sunshine. That's very good advice. Never just go exploring in places like this where it could be dangerous. It's always nice to get away from the roads. Sometimes they're necessary on a hike, but not ideal. It's much nicer to be out there in the countryside. The Viking Way carries on that way, but we're going to have a coffee just here on the bench. So we're just arriving in the village of Coleby, and we'll stop at the church, and then the next stop after that is Boothby Graffoe. So we can see the dates here, 1837 to 1897, celebrating 60 years, and Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, which was the first time a British monarch had ever celebrated one. 4 years after that, unfortunately, she died in the Isle of Wight at Osborne House in 1901. So the All Saints Church here at Coleby was originally built by the Anglo-Saxons, but was rebuilt by the Normans. Now there is a part of the base of the tower which still exists from the times of the Saxons. Near the top of the spire there are some red lights which serve as a beacon for the planes at RAF Waddington. So the next stop is Boothby Graffoe, which then leads into Navenby. Thank you. So you might be able to see somewhere about there is a windmill, the base of a windmill, and that's Wellingore, that's where we're headed. But in the meantime, there's Boothby Graffoe, Navenby, and then Wellingore to reach. Just waiting for a gust. You can really feel it, can't you? Tell you what, that's blowing out the cobwebs, that is. I think the castle's in that area down there with all the trees, because if you follow the road up, I'm sure that's the road that leads to Boothby Graffoe. So I walked down there, but you can't have any access to the castle. I'm not sure what type of castle it is. And this leads us into the next village, Boothby Graffoe. So we're heading for the church of St Andrew in Boothby Graffoe. It was built in, or rebuilt in, the Victorian era in 1842, but documentation states in the registers that the original church was destroyed in 1666 from a tornado. Not just any tornado, it was apparently the most powerful tornado on record, a T8/T9. Anyway, looking forward to a coffee and having a break before the final part of the walk. I'm really hoping this church is open, as it's just started raining. Right, here's the lock test. It was locked, so we're going to sit on this bench just outside the church with these snowdrops and that view, which isn't too shabby. What are you like? Right, we are here outside the church on a bench because the church was locked, but no worries. And this bench is perfectly fine and the rain's just stopped. And it's sheltered out of the wind, which is perfect, isn't it? Because that wind on the edge, wow. It was just rushing right up, wasn't it? Across that flat ground. It was. So we're going to have a lunch and a coffee and then finish the walk.
What have we got today?
A bit of everything, haven't we? We've just gone to the shop and bought some pasties and... Yeah. That'll do. Right, so that's lunch all finished. It's a shame the church wasn't open, but not all of them are. So the weather's definitely taken a turn. All those blue skies have gone. So we're down here to Navenby next. And Navenby is quite a large village. It used to be a bit of a historic market town, but it lost its market town status in the 1800s, I think. But there's a lot of history going on in Navenby, and you know I love my history. And in terms of place names, the BY ending of Navenby has Viking origins, meaning settlement. So Coleby, that I've been through today, probably linked to some Viking history somewhere. So we've just detoured through the woods because the actual path is so muddy. So I'm really enjoying this walk. It's been absolutely brilliant getting out. But right now there's a bit of an ominous feel in the atmosphere with the weather, the threat of rain and the darkening clouds. It's telling me I might need my rain jacket very soon. So we're not too far from Navenby now. Navenby also has Mrs. Smith's cottage. She died when she was 102 in 1995, and she was born in the village, and the house has been kept as a memorial to her. She bought the house once, and then it's believed that she sold it to help the Methodist chapel, but ended up rebuying it later on. It's now a visitors centre and is opening in May, I think, and it almost takes you back in time. It's a bit of a time capsule as to what a house would have been like from the past, because she kept things very basic. The house dates from the 1830s, so pre-Victorian. So this is Navenby, and we're just coming up to the church. So here's St. Peter's Church in Navenby. I think the newest part of this church is the tower, because it collapsed at some point, I can't remember the year, and it had to be rebuilt. It's a rather large church, isn't it? So at some point this church tower had to be rebuilt as it collapsed. So in the distance you can see the rain. Now the clouds are moving in that direction, so maybe it'll blow over, but I've got a feeling it's going to be waterproof soon. So you can see the edge, look though. So the last pylon we can see, just to the side of that's Coleby, and that was our sort of halfway point. So the plan is to get to Wellingore, have a look at the church there, and then find a bus stop. There are buses every 20 minutes along the main road, and that'll take us back into Waddington where we started. Right, we're about a mile from Wellingore, so we're going to get to the church, then find the bus stop, and then make our way home. It's been a great walk, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely recommend getting your walking boots on. Doesn't matter if it's windy, wet, rainy, sunny, just get out there and enjoy nature. Right, this bench, last of the coffee. What do you reckon? playing fields. So the final stop on the walk today is the Church of All Saints at Wellingore. Now I'm not planning to go into it. I've already covered this church on a previous walk when I went to Temple Brewer. And if you want to watch that, I'll put a link just here somewhere. Right, well that concludes today's walk. It's been about 6 hours of walking, around about 7 to 8 miles, a linear one, so from start to finish. And if you want to come and do this walk, Lincoln's not far off, so if you wanted to extend it and go and see Lincoln Castle and Lincoln Cathedral, I can certainly recommend that. There's the bus shelter. Luckily there's a bench in there so we can have a sit down. And if it starts to rain, hopefully we'll be out of it. So thanks for coming along on this one. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Take care, happy hiking, and all the best.